It began as ink on paper, words written by those who lived the story. On November 9, 1861, 10 Union soldiers from the 11th, 18th, and 29th Illinois regiments set up camp in Bloomfield, Missouri. Finding a vacant print shop once home to the Bloomfield Herald, they loaded the press, set the type, and printed the very first issue of Stars and Stripes. It wasn't propaganda. It was connection, a voice for soldiers, written by soldiers in the heart of conflict. It carried home, humor, and truth to men who had left everything behind. It was a lifeline, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, freedom still had a voice. Through those pages traveled the courage, conviction, and belief that democracy could endure because ordinary people chose to defend it. The story that began in a small Missouri print shop didn't end when the war did. The soldiers who created Stars and Stripes had unknowingly sparked a legacy, one that would grow from those makeshift presses into an enduring voice for generations of American service members. From the trenches of World War I to the beaches of Normandy, from the jungles of Vietnam to modern deployments across Europe and the Middle East, Stars and Stripes has followed wherever American troops have gone.
Back in 1861, all of the soldiers that printed the newspaper were enlisted men. Later on, one of those soldiers became an officer, but at the time of the printing in 1861, they were enlisted men. I just got back from Germany in July, and I got to see the European Stars and Stripes up front and close up. And it was a really neat experience. I got to meet the journalists, and they have different departments and things like that. So there's quite a bit of difference between the Civil War Stars and Stripes and today's Stars and Stripes. The Civil War Stars and Stripes was a 4-page, one-off kind of paper, and today's Stars and Stripes is 26-page daily paper. And then weekends, it's even bigger than that.
It remains the only U.S. government-authorized, editorially independent newspaper for the military community, written by civilian and military journalists who serve alongside the soldiers they cover. Today, Stars and Stripes continues to publish daily, both in print and online, with bureaus stationed around the world. It informs, connects, and uplifts, still carrying that same spirit born in Bloomfield, that freedom's story must be told by those who live it. And here, at the Stars and Stripes National Museum and Library, that story finds its home. The museum doesn't just preserve the past, it makes it present, ensuring that the origins of Stars and Stripes remain alive for every visitor who walks through its doors. Here, history and humanity meet, and the thread between soldier and citizen continues unbroken.
The mission of the Stars and Stripes is to preserve and document the newspaper, the Stars and Stripes newspaper, and we do that throughout. That's what we focus on here.
The Stars and Stripes National Museum and Library continues to evolve, not only as a monument to the past, but as a living movement for the future. Following last year's groundbreaking on July 9th, 2024, the museum has now completed a 3,300 square foot addition, built to house historic military vehicles, enhance accessibility, and expand educational programming for future generations. From the first issue printed in Bloomfield to the voices carrying the mission today, the thread remains unbroken. The museum stands as proof that liberty endures when people choose to remember and act.
When the museum first opened in 1991, it was quite small. There was it was our first phase, and we got a grant, or actually we got a donation from Ted Adamick. He was a striper. That means that he worked for the Stars and Stripes. He was in the art department, I believe. And he gave us our first $40,000, and that provided a base for a small museum. It was probably around, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. But it was enough to get us started. And then in 2000, we got another donation, and we had the Bill Elmore edition, which is where we're standing right now. And then in 2025, 25 years later, we have another edition. So now our museum went from, maybe a 2,000 square feet museum to over 10,000 square feet. And we have a huge donation from a lot of really wonderful donors. One donor I'd like to mention is Steve Sears. He donated enough money to help us build this building, along with the Rhodes family. And he donated 5 World War II vehicles for our collection. So we're constantly getting donations and items added to our collection, and we just love that we can share that with our community.
Through Kids Day, families and young learners are invited to experience history through their own eyes. The museum grounds fill with energy and discovery as children meet reenactors, explore exhibits, and see how the stories of courage and service connect to their own lives. It's a day built to inspire the youth of tomorrow, to awaken curiosity, respect, and pride in the story of freedom. Through Liberty Days, that same spirit grows into a celebration of generations. For 2 days each fall, the museum transforms into a living timeline of American military history. From the early 1800s to modern service, visitors walk through reenactment camps representing the Civil War, the World Wars, Vietnam, and beyond. Students attend special programming designed just for them, while families meet veterans, handle historic gear, and witness the powerful sweep of history brought to life. Liberty Days reminds us that freedom's story is not only worth remembering, it's worth reliving together. And through Paint for a Cause, creativity becomes a legacy of contribution. Led by artists Aaron Harrell and Barb Bailey, the community gathers around a 5-panel mural, each one 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide, divided into more than 8,000 colorful triangles. Anyone can participate, regardless of age or experience. For a $2 donation, each painter fills a single triangle with color and with meaning. Participants often dedicate their triangle to a loved one who served, signing a journal that records their name, age, hometown, and vocation, a permanent record of their brushstroke in the story of freedom. More than 500 contributors have already helped bring the mural to life, filling over half of its panels with color, purpose, and memory. When complete, it will adorn the Red Barn beside the museum, a living monument made not by a single artist, but by an entire community united by gratitude.
Our community partners here at the Stars and Stripes Museum have really kept us grounded in our mission. And we want to thank partners like Paint for a Cause. It involves the whole community, getting the whole community to honor their veteran and paint a triangle on that mural. There are 8,000 triangles, or I think over 8,000 triangles on that mural. So that is a lot of people that we need to get on there. And we've been taking it into schools. You can sponsor a school to paint a triangle. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Also, the Wake Foundation has been a great partner for us, helping support us. They help support the Spirit of Democracy and other veteran programs that we've done, like our veteran writing program that we did with the Missouri Humanities. Even behind me, you can see a Missouri Humanities, the way they help their community partner as well. And they brought their temporary exhibit to the museum. It's Missouri's Struggle for Statehood, and we're glad to have that. And we're reaching out to schools to let them know, hey, we have this Missouri Struggle for Statehood here in the museum, and we'd love to give your kids a tour and talk about that. If there are other ways that you can help build this up, we would like to talk to you.
The Spirit of Democracy is more than a name. It's a living promise, a call to stand where others once stood, to teach what they fought to defend, and to ensure that the light of freedom is never left unattended. And that promise, that living thread, is now passed to you. Liberty doesn't survive by chance. It survives by choice. So tonight we honor those who wrote freedom's story, and we invite you to write the next chapter. Through you, freedom can bloom. And together, we'll keep its light alive.